Come in.
Hey there. How are you doing on this fine evening?
I know I told you how to get down here, but I never said I wanted you to come uninvited.
What's the point if I can't drop in every now and then?
Is there something you want to talk about?
Not in particular. You?
What the fuck?
Come on. I can't come visit my best pal?
I thought you didn't like me.
I don't. Consider this a chance to change that.
Things must not be going well.
No fucking kidding. I'm guessing it's been about the same for you.
Nothing's even happened yet, let alone gone well.
With the patients, you mean?
I've been getting reports every day. It's all fucking useless. A couple have woken up, the rest are still asleep. None have had any physical or neurological abnormalities, besides the fucking runes etched into their skin, obviously. We're just waiting.
How can there be nothing? Like, nothing at all?
I mean, according to Cal, Corey apparently felt a presence in his room with him, but other than that...
That's gotta be something you could work with, right?
It's a problem that hasn't actually been diagnosed by a psychologist or doctor. We can't assume he's experiencing it because of the magic. He is in isolation after all.
God damn it. Have you gone and talked to him?
No, have you? I guess Cal's the only one brave enough to wrangle some info out of him.
What else is new? So, they're all just locked up in there for no reason.
You know what the reason is, Glenn.
You know what I fucking mean. You heard anything about Corey from our friends in the West?
Yeah, there was an ambassador talk about him. They don't want him back.
Huh? Even if he's cured or whatever?
That possibility was discussed, yes, but they're pretty hard line.
What the hell are they thinking? He's their national, and he's still fully human.
Not to them. They said if he tries to cross the border into Werna, he'll be turned away.
You're fucking kidding. And I thought my next question was gonna be a downer.
Just spit it out.
What was the final death toll for the initial blast? I'm assuming you have more updated numbers than I do.
Last I checked, something like 170, and several hundred more injured.
Is that public?
Not yet.
Fucking leaves.
All things considered, though, that's a pretty good number.
What the hell is that supposed to mean?
It means that it's a goddamn miracle that none of the pyros hit a fuel line and took out a whole ward.
Thank fuck for electro infrastructure, I guess. I don't understand it.
What?
Any of this. I don't understand the fucking fire, the psychology, the politics, what the motivations could be.
What makes you think there's motivation?
My whole job revolves around organized, large-scale shit. And I can't help but look at this whole thing like it's a big fucking round robin. And all this can't just be a bunch of fucking coincidences, right?
We originally theorized it could spread like a disease. And, well, frankly, that possibility is still on the table.
Then how did they all fucking, I don't know, activate at the same time then?
Well, we knew of 3 of them that were in the city a few weeks prior. Could have infected the rest of them, incubation period, and then...
Boom, yeah, but then wouldn't there be more? And there was a huge gap between the first 2 and Ago getting infected, but all the explosions were seconds apart. It's too synchronized. I don't buy it.
Well, we don't know how it's transmitted. It could be a rare occurrence for all we know. Entirely random. You're not wrong, though. That possibility is getting less and less likely by the day.
It really seems like you're stuck. And I'm not used to RDMP being stuck. Seems like y'all always get to everything first.
Usually, I can work out something. My gut can lead me somewhere. Anywhere, even if it doesn't end up being right. There's always some lead I can pull on. I haven't been this stumped in a long time.
How do we not know about this? How in our entire history has something like this never happened?
Well, I'm not a historian, unlike some people. Maybe it has happened, and that bit was lost, or whatever. Wouldn't be the first time.
What the fuck do we do then?
We just have to wait.
For what? For Cal to discover the fucking magic Rosetta Stone?
I exhausted every... There's nothing for me to go on yet. I can't make a move unless I have a path, a fragment, any inkling about how the pyros manifested, but there's nothing. I can't do anything. Not until something else happens. Sorry.
You've probably already thought of this, but have you tried doing a genetic analysis? See if there's any unusual warping? That's the only thing I can think to look for.
I've tried to make arrangements to do thaumaturgical spectroscopy, but we need special equipment, so that's on hold for the moment.
Is that it?
I'd like to do more, but for the moment that's all I have access to.
You know, it could be connected to a solic magic. Ours deals with light and heat. That's kind of related to fire, right? Just spitballing here.
Could be. I had the thought that it might be related to aquakinesis.
So that's why you're testing for thaumaturgy.
It eliminates a lot of possibilities at once. I have a question for you.
Shoot.
What's gonna happen to Lyra?
Well, I arrested her for lying to law enforcement. She'll be in jail for at least a couple more days. We just have to wait and see what the judge thinks. Though I can't imagine that'll happen soon.
I could force a pardon, you know?
Yeah, I know you'd jump at the chance to flex your power. I kinda told her that too, but she doesn't want that. She wanted me to arrest her and she wanted to atone or whatever.
She can atone by helping me study the pyros locked up in her hospital. She can't do that from jail.
Can't you just, I don't know, persuade the interim guy?
It's not just her position I need. It's her knowledge, her influence. It's not just about her in the university. It's about her ability to command the attention of the whole city. People still respect her, and they listen to her.
So you're going full strategist with this, huh? I get that uncertain times call for more caution, but believe me when I say I'm not a fan of your previous tactics. But if there were any time to be aggressive and make big moves, it's now.
You're right. To be honest, I don't really know why I haven't been. It's pretty unlike me to be this cautious.
Are you nervous?
I think so. I mean, working for this agency means I have to always be on top of things. And all of a sudden that control was ripped away, and I've just been trying to claw it back, and it's gotten me nowhere.
I'm really glad we're having this therapy session together. One way or another, we'll figure this out, though. I know it.
How can you be so sure?
I have to be. If I can't be sure that I'll do something, how can I be sure I'll do anything?
I guess in the meantime I'll have a discussion with the interim headmaster.
Good. It's bound to get at least some of the wheels moving.
About the pyros, though. I don't like them being spread out across the city. The hospitals are doing what they can, but I can't do what I need to until I can get my hands on the patients myself. And I don't know if barging into the hospitals and kidnapping a bunch of high-profile people would do me any favors. I don't think my bosses would appreciate that crazy of a move either.
I mean, Lear is pretty high profile, but that didn't stop you.
Yeah, that's why I had you take the fall for that.
Oh, that's great. Thank you so much.
I still got reprimanded for it. So, I can't just get the patients and do tests on them. I mean, shit, they don't even know about the three that I basically held in solitary down here for a few weeks.
You know, I thought you were shadowy and mysterious. I can't even imagine what your higher-ups are like.
I'm just one of a bunch of agents that perform surveillance and containment. It's important for us to keep a low profile, but that doesn't do much for our public opinion.
I'd say you're probably right about that. To be frank, I kinda hated you guys.
I can't really say I blame you. With the information that's available, that's the logical conclusion, isn't it?
You could do a lot of good in the public eye, you know? You don't gotta be all CIA and shit.
The last thing this city needs is more chaos right now. I can make the moves I need to without shaking up all the powers that be.
I was thinking, you found the first few pyros pretty quick, and you've obviously had a job for a long time, but I've never heard of any other instances of containment. How do you do that? Do you really got fucking eyes and ears everywhere?
I have to. It's the only way I can do my job.
What does that look like, though? Do you have spies and shit?
They would never give me the budget for that. Not real ones, anyway. I have my automatons.
Of course, the Katorian has an army of automatons. The hell was I thinking? I forgot you used them to haul Ego out of my custody.
Good times. I have humanoids, bugs, birds. All of them find information across the city and report back to me. I also have a few bots.
You can't be the one controlling them all, though, right?
No. I have a nexus.
A what?
I have a Katoral nexus hooked up to a server so that data from every source can feed into one system. I built the architecture myself. That's what I get budget for.
I didn't even know that was a real thing. I've seen the fucking conduits and stuff you guys build, but that's next level, isn't it? How does it work?
Well, it gets imbued with magic pretty much every day, and the server is designed to distribute the magic across different tasks and organizes the data that comes through. I sure as hell don't get to hire people, but I can get the funds to create, well, a lot of things that I would need to get my job done.
Shit, if I didn't have any hangups, I'd send you my resume. Do you have any idea the leaps and bounds I have to go through to get an ounce of support from my department? It's like aching teeth out of those soulless fucks.
I wish it was that easy. You have to get scouted and get sponsored and get approved by different councils.
Well, how fucking deep is this place?
Enough. You're not supposed to know any of this, remember?
You gonna get in trouble for that?
Let's hope not.
How do your automatons gather data? Like, what does that mean?
Birds fly over top, watch for strange happenings. Bots scan networks and scrape what they find. Bugs can get up close, and humanoids help me do dirty work. Shitload of good they're doing me now.
Hey, I don't want to hear it. I can barely get a paperclip from RDLE.
Yeah, I know. It's just frustrating. What are you doing?
What? You want one?
Not in here.
Well, fuck, is there a window? A balcony?
Come on.
Ooh, field trip. Ah, shit. You got a light?
Only if you give me one.
Alright. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, sorry. I never took you for a smoker.
On special occasions.
What, like being depressed? What the fuck is gonna happen to this city?
Who knows?
I've spent my whole life in this place. It's my home, you know? And I'm just really fucking scared.
Magicians are resilient people. We just had a disaster that would wreck a human city for at least a few years, and we're already bouncing back. If the city falls, we'll build it back up again. I mean, hell, we've already done that a couple times.
Rebuilding doesn't undo the damage, just plasters over it. And if we're all gone, there's nothing to rebuild.
I think it's best not to dwell on that. We do our best, with all the information we have. What happens, happens. All we can do from there is do our best again. Of course, that's easier said than done.
Yeah, I'm not satisfied with that. There's always something. There's always a lead to follow. And we just can't fucking find it. Whoa. Holy shit, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Are you sure you should be using these?
It's not the cigarettes.
Is it alright if I ask what the mask is for? Never mind.
It's okay. I mean, I don't really know why I'm telling you this, but I built my Nexus after a lot of trial and error. One of those errors was a rebound that deformed my larynx and the stuff around it. The mask cleans air a bit, but mainly it reads my mouth movements to synthesize my voice the best it can.
How'd you get your hands on that?
Like I said, budget.
You got an engineering degree I don't know about?
I can be crafty when I need to.
Hell, I didn't even know Coutural magic could rebound.
It usually doesn't. It only happens when you're fucking around too much. The fact that it happened to me is more embarrassing than I'd like to admit.
You don't really talk to people like this very much, do you?
No. Is it that obvious?
You're doing alright. It's weird though. I've never even thought about rebounds. I feel like I'm gonna start worrying about using my own magic.
I don't really get the chance to see a Solian magic that often. How much do you end up using it?
Well, once in a blue moon. The combat aspect is obviously handy in my profession, but it has some more practical applications too.
Like what?
Like cuddling.
Huh?
Yeah, I can get real nice and toasty under a blanket.
And this is something you've tested?
Well, of course. I gotta have a couple of tricks up my sleeve for the babes.
Oh boy.
Speaking of, Mr. Mask Man, surely you get some action every once in a while.
Once in a while.
Oh shit, you got a girlfriend?
No.
Boyfriend?
No.
Something else, friend?
Is this really what you want to discuss right now?
Come on. Stop being depressed for like 5 seconds and crack a smile at least.
I'm not taking my mask off just to smile.
Ah, shit. My fault.
You know, you seem like a good guy. Like you actually care.
Where's this going? I know you're not just complimenting me for kicks. What's up?
You mentioned there's always a lead.
What are you thinking?
I don't know for sure, and it doesn't really help us right now, but
Come on, tell me. Keeping your thoughts to yourself isn't gonna help either.
there might have been signs that something was coming months ago.
Huh? What was it?
Well, the reason I was asking about core sickness back when I first got Ego is because it's been acting up since July.
What does acting up mean for the core?
I mean, you know about the fluctuations, right?
I guess. I know about sun theory, but I'm not really one to read research papers and shit.
For all we know, the fluctuations could just be a disruption in the reaction that makes our ambient magic, like the sun, or the thing being angry, but in any case, usually people can feel it. It affects people in funny ways. Sometimes they get sick, but they're not serious. They're not something to be worried about outside of that. But
These ones were different?
not even that. There have been other phenomena that MP dealt with that were accompanied by larger than normal fluctuations, but still nothing like this. They just kept happening, and each time they got bigger and bigger and bigger. It started happening more and more, each one more intense than the last. Core sickness was the only idea I had. I thought maybe the sickness had changed or had new symptoms or something, but that doesn't even seem relevant anymore. What's really been fucking with me is that I checked our data again a few nights ago from July until now. There were 16 large fluctuations in total, 1 in July, 2 in September, and the rest scattered through November and December.
I really don't like the picture you're painting here.
They correspond with the pyros almost too well. It feels like I'm being taunted. I don't think it could be a sickness anymore because it wasn't one event that spread, it was 16 individual magical events.
I hate to even speak it into existence, but the way things have been going, it almost sounds like an invasion. Sure would help if we knew how that fucking thing worked, huh?
I'm sure it would. It's great news for us that that info was wiped away.
Seems like that happens to us a lot.
Yeah. As if being forced to the brink of extinction all those years ago wasn't enough. All our knowledge had to be lost too.
Would you happen to remember why we were supposed to have beef?
What do you mean?
Like, as an Asolian to a Katorian.
That old crap.
It's old for sure. I don't think I've ever heard anyone have a reason, though.
Glad to know you don't buy into that nonsense, I suppose.
It'd compromise my integrity as a detective. Gotta remain impartial or whatever.
Do you, though?
I try my best. I'm sure I've got some blind spots.
Man.
What?
I was just thinking. It was enough work to get the magical races to get along this much. Imagine what throwing another one into the mix is gonna do. Especially one this loaded.
Yeah, they didn't really have a great first impression, did they? Is it even appropriate to call them a new magical race? Just based off new magic? I mean, they can still use their old powers, can't they?
Isn't that how they're defined? By the differences in our magic?
Well, I guess so, but it's also the history, the origins of us. Katorians came from underground, fairies and shifters from the woods, and so on. I mean, if we're being really honest, this part has kind of happened before. The part of our history we actually kind of remember for a change.
Dyers aren't maliciously destructive.
Yeah, but some people sure as hell thought they were for a while.
Think.
Eh?
Some people still think they are.
It's touchy, isn't it? I don't think anyone in the assembly, or law enforcement for that matter, really knows how to handle them properly. Not for lack of trying, but...
Our society just wasn't constructed with them in mind. But they're here nonetheless. We've just done a shit job at accommodating them.
Could you imagine being a teenager? Going to school, having relationships? I mean, most adult dyers have to learn to control their powers. Can't imagine what it's like when your emotions are so high.
And you can't even really predict which emotions fuel you until...
Yeah. I wonder how Noah deals with it. I've never really asked one of them before.
Have you ever had to deal with it?
Only once. Probably the worst dire outburst in recent memory. I mean, it's not usually pretty, but this was over the top. This kid, probably around 15, 16, a whole lot of years ago, had a fit, killed one friend, injured another. First time her powers ever manifested.
Fuck.
And you know, teenagers killing each other, people ran with that shit for months. Pissed me off. I found out later that she was having a manic episode. Got diagnosed with something or other. She wasn't properly cared for, and with her powers it was...
Bad mix.
yeah. They only got me involved because of how serious it was, and how public. And I hope I never have to do that again. It's one thing to deal with psychos or criminals, but... they were just fucking kids, man.
Did you ever find out what her trigger was? I'm assuming it was negative, right?
Nope. She wouldn't talk to me or anybody during interrogation.
Just left to fester with a sickness and forced to hide the magic that would eventually have to come out.
That's a night I'll never forget.
What ended up happening to her?
About 2 years of corrections and rehab, then got her identity changed, dissociated from her family. So she's out there somewhere. She's gotta live with that forever, though.
And nothing will bring her friend back.
Yeah.
I'm scared for the city. This is supposed to be a sanctuary for all magic people. But some people still fall through the cracks. How is it possibly going to cope now? How could it possibly handle this new threat?
Are you done already?
These things will kill us. And I have work to do.
What is it?
Shh. Do you hear that?
No. Real? Hey, what the hell are you doing? Get down.
Something's wrong.
No fucking way. Come on, we gotta go. Real.
Get inside.
What?
That's not an explosion. And it's coming this way.